Welcome viewers to our online program. Today I'm going to show you how we can use our lesson for Archicad. You can like our page in the below link. Welcome. So we are going to start with Archicad. Archicad generally is for designing architectural drawings from structural, residential buildings, commercial buildings. So we are going to start. On our screen here, we have Archicad icon. So when you double click, just wait as it opens. So I'm going to take you through the interface for Archicad and how we can also use the tools that we have to design a house plan. So just wait a little bit as it opens. So that's Archicad 22 loading. Yeah. So in the first step, we have a dialog box. You can create a new project or open an existing project. So for starters or for beginners, you can click by creating a new project, then you click new. So as it loads, just a little bit as it loads. Yes. So this is Archicad screen. So on the interface, we are going to start to show you how the interface works and where we should start our design for house plans. So on the welcoming screen, on the left side of the screen, we have the toolbox, which contains various tools used for design. And it's divided into three. We have design, which contains the designing tools for walls, doors, windows, columns, beams, slab, stairs, railings, as you scroll through. Then in the document, we have documentation like dimensions, texts, how you can do text, labeling, fill, line, sections. And then on the more tab, we have elements like wall end, corner, lamps, and additional components there. Then here, on the right side of the screen, we have what we call the navigator, how you can navigate through your project. When you click on the icon there, you find we have the navigator, how you can navigate your screen. As you can see, we have stories. We have story 1, 2 by default, and then we also have elevations, worksheets detailing 3D and all that. Then here we have got various ribbons for 3D and some of the elevations here. Then to set up your screen before you start your work, we have also in the window, we have what we call palettes. These are some of the tools, icons that also already appears here. So we have the toolbox, which is already there. We have info box. Info box is for doing the settings for each and every tool that you pick in the toolbox. Again, in the palettes, we have the navigator. The navigator is the one which is on the right side of the screen, sorry. So you can put it on by clicking on it. So under window, whenever you find the toolbox is not there on the screen, that means you can still come back to the window. And then on the palettes, you can click on the info box. Then you can see it appearing on top, above, below the menu. Also in the palettes, we also have the navigator. You can click on the navigator. Then you will see our navigator appearing. You can hide it or you can just show it up. Then on the screen, we are going to make our drawings here in the model. This is called the model. When you zoom in and out, you'll see we have got those elevations, east, north, west, and south. Those are the elevations. These ones can be enlarged depending on the project, the size of your project, or you can reduce them. So we start by the toolbox. We have the arrow tool. The arrow tool is for selection. When you click on the arrow tool, you can select. For example, you want to select a particular tool or a particular object on the screen. You use the arrow tool. It's for selection. You can select like the elevations. Sorry. Just a minute. It's just yeah. So you can select. So these elevations can be enlarged. You can see when you click, for example, on elevation, you have 3 nodes. These black nodes for, you can, when you click on a node, there's a ribbon appearing here on the screen, which allows you can stretch. Yeah, for example, when you click on one of the nodes, either left or right node, there's a ribbon here, which so you can see the ribbon. We have move, we have rotate. Sorry, you can either of the ribbons of the nodes. When you click, one of the, so we have that ribbon here, which shows you can drag, you can enlarge the size, the space where you want to do your design. You can drag, click, and then you drag. Yeah, you can drag, or you can resize your elevation so that you can create a space for your design. So let's just go straight on. So before you start your project, there are some parameters which you need to set up, like the dimensions. You can change the dimensions from millimeters to metric or imperial, depending on the unit that you want to use. So to change the units, you come to options, and then you have project preferences. Under project preferences, you have to change your dimensions, whether you want them into metric or imperial. So on the preferences, project preferences, under options tab, we have dimensions. So this one allows you to change the dimensions that you want to use in your project. So you can change, we have millimeters, we have plain millimeters, we have architecture, we have US Builder. Mostly you can pick millimeters. And then you click on the next icon, the next button. Then now you can change. We have the unit length, area unit, and the volume unit. So since you've changed the dimensions to millimeters, you need to change here. You also come here and change millimeters. Millimeters, then you change the decimal. Sorry. You can read the number of decimals. And you can make it up to 0, and then you click OK. So that means your dimensions will be in millimeters. So we are going to start on the toolbox. Toolbox contains tools for design. We've got the wall tool. Whenever you click on a tool that you want to use, here at the top we have what we call the info box, which I showed you earlier. So you can click on the icon for the wall, and then it will open the settings dialog box. Yeah. So here you can have your wall settings. So under the geometry and positioning, you can pick the thickness of your wall. So by default, you can see we have a wall thickness of 300, but you can pick this. This one allows you can change the thickness of the wall you want, that is. So for example, you can change the thickness. You can have a thickness of 200. And then here, this is the height of the wall. So when you see we have home story and wall top. So you can change the height of your wall. By default is 3000. If you want a wall of any height, we can change this from home story. So by default we have 3000. That is 3000 millimeters, which is 3 meters. And then we also have the reference line here. You can change. This is your reference line for design. We have outside face. When you're designing a wall, maybe you want to draw it from the outside face, or center. That means from center to center. So if the width is 200, when you click center, on the left will be 200, on 100, because now you are designing from the center. So you can click center. And then in the model, when you click on the model, then you have surfaces. These are various surfaces for your walls. We have the outside surface, then we have edge surface, then we also have the inside surface. So you can change the surfaces. So when you click on the outside surface button, you can see by default it's showing you stucco yellow. You can click on that arrow beside the side so that you can change by scrolling using your mouse, so that you can pick. The wall is made up of bricks, for example. So you can pick a brick. So you can see it's changing to red. If you want to apply the same surface to all the edge, or you want to say the same style to all the surfaces, you click to activate those surfaces. Then we have the link key here. So we want to link the surfaces so that they can have the same style. So when you click link, so you can see all the surfaces will be brick red. Then you click OK. So once you have clicked OK button, now you can zoom in and start to design your walls. So we click on the first part. You will see we have picked center to center. So you'll see the reference line will be at the center of the wall. That means the wall is 200, so we'll have 100 on both sides. So when you are designing your wall, you have to drag the cursor to give the direction. You can go to the right, to the left, up, or down. So it depends on the direction. So first of all, we are going to go up. So as you go up, you must make sure the reference line is at 90 degrees. So you can type the distance. Maybe you are doing a wall of a particular distance. For example, you're doing a wall of 4,500. Just use your keyboard. Once you type 4,500, you press the enter key. Once you press the enter key, this is our wall of 4,500. If you want to continue to the next stage, you click on that end wall part. Then you go maybe to the right. Then you type the distance. Maybe I need a distance of 6,000. You type them, but they're in millimeters. Then you hit your enter key. When you want to go up, you click on that end of the wall. Click on that end of the wall. And zoom. Then you type, if it is 1500, then you hit your enter key. So you continue like that until you have your house plan designed. Maybe 3,500. You come down. If you want to align the same to the same level where you started, you press and hold the shift key while dragging your mouse. Then there's a line there, so you can reference it to the other side. Then you click. When you click, so this wall and this wall will end at the same level. Then you can simply join it with the other side. So that's our walls. If you want additional walls, you simply click where you want to have that additional wall, then you drag. You want to join the other side, you click join, you can see the walls have been joined. Also, if you need this, another wall, you're doing partitioning, you click there, so they are joined together. We also have, there are other ways of editing walls. You have other ways of editing walls. When you click on the wall, when you pick a wall tool, when you pick on the wall tool, you can see it has got these nodes here. These nodes, you can click on one of the nodes, and then on the ribbon here, it will ask you, you can stretch. You pick the stretch icon. Yeah, so it allows you to stretch. You can stretch the wall and then join the other side. So those are ways of a way of editing walls. If you want a copy of a particular wall, maybe I want to copy this wall to the center of this wall, so I'm creating my partition. When you click on that wall, you right click on your mouse, and then you have move. So under move, we've got various moving types. We have drag, we've got rotate, you can rotate the wall, you can elevate, you can drag a copy if you want a copy of a particular wall, or you can drag multiple copies. So for example, in our case, I want to drag a copy. Then you click on one of the nodes, then you drag. You are dragging a copy. It's like we are copying. So you can specify the distance where you want to drag it up to. So if that distance, you can use a distance by typing on your keyboard. If it is 1800, then you hit the enter key. You shall have seen we have had a copy of the wall to 1800. So that's how we can also do a copy. This one will apply to all the tools on the toolbox. By right-clicking on one of the tools that you have, then you right-click, then you come to move. You can drag, you can rotate, you can mirror, you can elevate, you can drag a copy, you can rotate a copy, you can have multiple copies. So as we continue, we'll be learning all these. So that's the first part. So we've seen how we can design our walls, having the settings for the walls, and also how we can edit walls by stretching. We can also have you can drag a copy of the wall by specifying the distance. We can also trim a wall. Maybe you need to cut this wall here. To cut a section of the wall, they must intersect at 2 points or 1 point. Then here in the icon, it's like a scissor-like tool in the toolbox, the toolbar. So we have that. That's for trimming. You can click on the trim. Maybe, for example, I want to trim this wall. So you just come and click. You'll see the wall has been trimmed. So there's a space there which has been cut. That's how we place walls and also edit walls. Then the next step, we are going to so that will form up our introduction part on how we can design a simple house plan using walls, and also how we can edit walls by trimming and applying multiple copies of the wall. Thank you.